Hey, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
So, you might notice we're not giving you any kind of cast right now. Why is that? Well, we thought we'd take a step back from the strategy for a second, just to kind of highlight some of the great material that's been coming out from both the company as well as the community itself. If you look down the lower left-hand corner, at least on my screen, I can't speak for Rang.
Yep, I can see it too.
Oh, you see something that says mod activated just before dawn. So Rang's going to get into that in just a second, but we do want to give a quick shout out to Chief Barto, the creator of this amazing DLC, not DLC, excuse me, wow,
Free
amazing
OC.
mod. It's got the breadth of a DLC, which is
Mm-hmm.
the crazy thing about it. So Rang, tell us what we're going to be looking at, and kind of take us through what's going on here.
So this is it's a pretty awesome mod because it adds four new divisions to Steel Division, and it's pretty amazing how they've managed to add like fully functional, like with actual, interesting gameplay mechanic divisions. Considering that with the modern tools for Steel Division, you can't really add new units models. You can mess around with unit stats and make like new infantry units out of like existing equipment that's already in game.
Mm-hmm.
But considering all of that, they managed to make four whole bloody divisions, which is pretty impressive. Currently, not everything is fully balanced to my liking at the moment, but they have a Discord server where I'll leave the information for that in the description below. So if you decide to download the mod, you can. We also leave a description for that down below, but it's pretty easy to find in the Steam Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty much give your input, and because it's just a small mod team, it's not going to take them months to actually implement a patch or two. But yeah, it's really cool because you had some cool divisions. I got another Canadian division, so I can't really I can't complain, and it's free, so there's really no reason not to check it out.
Can't beat that price.
I know exactly, and I'm very happy that people are still trying to add content, especially like whole new divisions to this game. It's nice to see support.
Let's not talk too much about that. I mean, it's great and fantastic. We definitely want to give a shout out to them, but let's dive right into these divisions. So let's take a look at that Canadian division. Let's go to the 4th Armoured, okay?
Yep, so we're looking at, if I can, there we go, 4th Canadian Armoured Division, and it's a big leaf.
So you will see, of course, that Ryan has full decks out for this. You got a little more experience with this. I goofed around a little bit, but not too much. So let's just dive in. I mean, it says in the fluff for this that the division itself is organized as an American-style division, but it's equipped as a British one.
Yeah, they got like British and American equipment. Like instead of having sections, they have priests and etc. It's pretty cool historically. That the battle for Hill 262. These were the guys who relieved the pose at the end.
I had not realized that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you ever played COD 3 and in the second to final mission where you're playing as the pose, these are the Canadian guys who end up saving the day.
Interesting. It's kind of fun to look at the recon already to see actually recon Shermans.
Yup, this is one of the new units, even though it's like a Sherman, it's already the same model, but they managed to make it into a recon unit. It's pretty interesting because you only get like one per card, and per phase you get more veterancy for it, and I'd say it's pretty well balanced for 160 points. It's just a Sherman with some good recon optics.
Not quite a recon Panther, but nevertheless pretty strong, yeah?
Yep, you got Recon Honeys too. They're a little bit too cheap, I'd say, for the price, but still, pretty good. But not much in terms of infantry recon. It's very limited with just some scouts here and there.
Now, taking a look over the infantry itself, I do notice there's an awful lot of just very, very, very Canadian approach to this.
It's everything. You got motorized rifles, which is nice, but they only come in the right half track, so it's not like a half track that will stay once you unload, which is good because it makes them like only 20 points, which is cheap, but bad because you can't like redeploy them after they've been deployed or have a half track laying around. So it's an interesting mechanic, I'd say, because you do have like you can do like half track rush kind of in A phase, but you can't like do like a like a half track rush where you just move your M5 half tracks down the road.
Now, doth my eyes deceive, or it looks like in Phase B, it looks like, just like the other, kind of Commonwealth divisions, we don't have a whole lot of heft here. We have holding the line, basically, until Phase C with Assault Pioneers and Leaders, yes?
Yep, and finally in Phase C, you actually get some proper half-tracks with M5s, and also Kangaroos, so, you got that British equipment, and, a bit of a Canadian flavour thrown in with some Kangaroos too, but I like the infantry loadout. I mean, it's nothing new unit-rise. It's just you got a bit of everything. You got the motorized rifles, your regular rifles, your pioneers, etc. Something for every occasion.
Well, let's dump on over to tanks then.
Yeah,
Now, the first thing you might notice is absolutely no Phase A tanks, which
exactly.
I think kind of is pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
you have the Recon Stewarts and you have the Recon Shermans, and other than that, then you have to really kind of husband them out
hmm
very, very early on. So, Axis Division, who is this analogous to already?
This is very much like a Allied Panzer Lair. It's like a mix between
Exactly.
Panzer Lair and Third Armored Division. Yeah, the Americans get. So it's a little bit of both. As we see, like in C phase, you get one card of times 10 Shermans. You don't need 10 Shermans, but it's kind of nice to have 10 Shermans just in case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a condom. You don't know if you need it, but you want to have it around just in case.
Yeah, but I'd prefer the Sherman 5s if I was building this deck. But I mean, the Sherman 3 is like a regular condom. These Sherman 5s are like a
Magnums.
nice magnum, like a nice
Okay.
magnum. And I don't even want to tell what a Firefly is.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's. This is
Oh.
a family friendly. This is a family friendly video.
Yeah.
Also worth noting. Of course, you can bet there's a lot of slots up here for tank, and in particular armored division makes perfect sense. Armored's not anything really to write home about. I do like seeing these wasps here.
Yeah. Oh, support. Yeah. Yeah, you got quite a decent amount of Ross from B phase. You got the shot and A
Yes.
phase, which is, I mean, those Piats are going to be vital for any A phase pushers. I'd have to say these guys are MVP of the division already.
Well, and if anybody gets in your way, it's tell them to sod off. So.
Exactly, with your rather mediocre rocket launcher. But but overall, support tab isn't really anything to write home about. I mean, you got some stags, you got some rasps. You don't have a lot of slots to really play around with, so it's gonna probably be like you take like one A phase, one B phase of play track, and maybe like
Oh, card of
Shod.
wasps.
Yeah, like a card of Wasps and a card of Shods, and maybe that's it. A-phase staghounds could be pretty useful too, because of your tank options, but it's pretty tough to figure out what you'd want in the support tab.
Switching over to anti-tank for a second, the standard 6-pounders. A wealth of Wolverines. So
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is seeing quite a lot of face time in this division.
hmm
I guess I'm struck by how immobile the anti-tank is for Phase C.
Yeah, you got some 17-pounders and then like one card of Achilles. I mean, one card is all you'd really need, and it's pretty nice to help buff up your Firefly force, but you only got 4 slots, so it's going to be a rather tough pick, in all honesty.
Okay. So, anti-air, kind of
Yeah,
standard as
it's
well.
pretty
Lots of
standard.
Crusaders, Bofors, stuff like that. It's spread out fairly evenly. Again,
Yeah.
nothing really to write home about. Artie. Artie doesn't seem too thrilling as well. I mean, the best thing in my mind is these priests.
Yeah, you got priests instead of Saxons, which is, a little bit of that Canadian, like, American style flavor, I'd say. But yeah, you got some Tyrant's carriers, mortars. The B phase railway artillery is, or not railway artillery,
It's the two of threes, yeah.
is pretty good, I'd have to say. That's a pretty good card. And 2-star priests in C phase would probably be pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie. But once again, only 4 slots, gonna be pretty tough.
Air power, even more slim. We have kind of the
Yeah.
standard Spitfires. They have all that kind of stuff. It's an armored division. It's not an air power one.
Yeah, I mean, rocket typhoons are okay. They're not typhoon ATs, so you can't like one-shot Panthers from the side. But you get some Spitfires. A-phase Mozzie could be pretty useful, but nothing too crazy here. Nothing to really write home about. And only like 3 slots, so it's very limited in general.
Sounds about. Over to the 4th Infantry Division, the Ivy Division. Now, nevertheless, pretty dang cool to see another division being utilized here.
Yep. These were the guys who landed on Utah Beach, and would be the people who would relieve the 82nd Paratrooper Division at St. Mary Gleesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So recon for them again, nothing. It's pretty standard. Nothing too inspiring. Econ for them is a little bit more interesting. We have that nice swell with bell curving out here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. B phase is really going to be pushing, but 115 C phase isn't.
It's still solid.
You can still hold on to in the infantry division. You're not like saving up for Panthers, so it works.
Now, I realize that they're pretty garbage, but I actually like the fire teams. I like at least nothing else the flavor of them being added.
Yeah, it's So the fire teams, okay, that's bugs. It should actually have 2 bars.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine they have 2 bars and not just 3 Garens. But yeah, they're pretty much an American Bren group essentially. But the nice thing is the bar can actually shoot under 100 meters, meaning they're a little bit better in CQC.
Well, and again, the standard play here is hold the line a little bit, then you start swarming absolutely everything with these fire teams in B, and then C kind of consolidate with some assault teams and so on and so
and then
forth.
you got some assault teams which are like budget engineers. I really like the flavor too because have you ever played Brothers in Arms?
Yes,
It
yes.
reminds me of Brothers in Arms where you got like your fire team and then you got your assault team and you have to like move them around. It really gives me that vibe.
Well, that's what I kind of like about this. So really, Chief Bardo, you and yours, you guys did a great job with this.
Yeah, and you got, rifle spam later on, and a lot of rifles, so I really think the, like, rifle spam and assault team combo, like, those assault teams would be pretty good in CQC just for, like, trying to clear forest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then, it's just, and you got the Garans and the Thompsons, pretty good CQC weaponry.
And of course, infantry for days.
Exactly. You're not gonna run out of guys in this. This is, like, 15th Scots level of spam.
Let's toss ourselves over then to tanks. Again, tanks are kind of standard stuff. M4A1s, you got a couple early DDs.
Yeah.
Just like which division rang?
Just like 2nd Infantry Division, I'd guess.
There we go, exactly.
Yeah.
And again, those guys were also on Utah, if memory serves, yes?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Someone out there's going to definitely tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. But you got some 76 Shermans, which is essentially like that's a bit armor division style there going on, and you get a good amount too. So it's actually a very nice tank tab. You got a Sherman of every flavor essentially.
It is a little bit slim. It's kind of like that pair of Levi's. You got to make sure you squeeze on in. Only 5 slots for it, so you're not necessarily getting a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah.
But what you do get, well, you know what the ladies like.
Yeah,
so.
you like it like at Pekin Rhino.
Indeed. Support is actually I didn't realize this. The support has a pretty hefty number of slots as well.
Yeah, and you may notice there's a machine gun in the support tab. This is something they do with some other divisions for like I'm really saying for flavor, is having like a tank in the anti-tank tab or an infantry machine gun in the support tab. It makes sense because a machine gun's a bloody support gun. In the end
yeah.
It's a little bit out of place. Like it feels a bit weird.
Comparative to the market version of the game, yes, but technically, yeah, I was always in a support company back in World War II itself. So for me, I appreciate the nod. I think that's what you were getting at, right?
Yeah, I appreciate and also considering that you can only do like so much with the existing units. Having moving some of units around into different tabs, adds a bit of flavor.
Overall, though, I mean, you have your 105 Shermans, you have a couple of GMCs here and there. I mean, this is nothing huge.
The GMCs are pretty new. I mean, it's like the same unit, but I like how you can get like a transport unit essentially without having to, buy the bloody infantry that come with it. This could be a pretty good card, I'd say, if you want to like move an anti-tank gun around or, just some cheap 50 cal fire support.
Hey, that's what a deuce and a half does, right?
Exactly.
Anti-tank, again, it's the standard stuff. The M10s, I mean, and in fact, honestly, I kind of feel like they almost lifted this from...
Yeah,
it's close.
You get less 76s, you don't get a 76 and A phase. But, you got a decent amount of Wolverines and 76s and C phase. It's enough to get you by, essentially.
Well, it kind of feels like, and I might be wrong on this one, it feels like early on, all you're trying to do is just hold the line with some of those rifles and assault teams. And after you do that, Phase B is where you really start to find your stride. You're consolidating positions, you're building up that Phase C push, and then Phase C hits, and bam, you hit everything.
Yeah, you can just the rifle roll spam that you can accomplish would be extremely potent.
Just seems a polite way to put it.
Yeah.
Anti-air, nothing special.
Nothing. Yeah, it's pretty standard stuff.
So let's dump over to artillery then.
Yeah, and
ooh,
yeah,
M2A1s, the 105s. That's a reskin, isn't it?
M2A1.
Yeah.
The howitzer.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing that.
That's in second.
Oh man, I don't use them. I guess.
It's different.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm getting lost here. So I'm looking at the card itself. It just looks different. I don't know what it is.
It's just an A phase like proper howitzer. It's just it's like having a 25 pounder an A phase. It's pretty decent because it does like 15 HE at 2.4 kilometers in A phase. You can't really say no to that.
Well, the standard 81mm stovepipes, the 107s coming later on,
Mm-hmm.
and the M7s. Again, I always forget. This is the Scott.
That's a priest.
That's the priest. Okay.
That's a priest. You know why I call it the priest, Con?
Oh, because the pulpit of the turret, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They should what they should do for some of them is remove the 50 cal and just have like a Bible. So you could just ride into battle like reciting Matthew 2:17. Some other Bible verse that I can just
Isaiah chapter 5. But the path of the righteous man is beset on all sides.
And it's just machine gun fire and artillery dropping around, and you got like your church chaplain just reciting from the Bible.
It does feel troops. It does feel a little bit Warhammery to do that.
Exactly. You got to get some like scriptures, stamp them, and just put them all over the side of the tank.
You know what? If anybody makes a mod of Steel Division with Warhammer stuff, I will play that, and you know what? Do it. If you build it, I will come.
Yeah, drive me closer. I want to hit them with my sword.
Yes. Off map already though. Here's the 356 navals that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And these guys, nasty.
Yeah, very nasty. You're gonna help you definitely make punch through into B phase, C phase, essentially.
Well, then air power. I'm not sure why they give you 5 grasshoppers.
Because you really want to be able to see everything, I guess. But it's a pretty good card investment, I'd say. I'll take that. Because
I mean, in terms of just raw numbers of material per card, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you wonder why 5 cards of grasshopper.
They're not coming back, that's for sure.
I know. Insecticide, my friend.
Yeah, but it's apart from that, it's you're going to be feeling the thunder, because that's a lot of thunder boats. You got fighter runs, you got rocket runs, and then rocket runs that can do rocket runs, and B-26 mortars.
Yeah, so you get pirates at the end.
Yeah, overall it's a pretty nice division. I like how compared to second is very focused on the Rangers early on. It's just more focused on just regular rifle dudes, which I appreciate. It's less veterancy focused, more general, it's more spammy essentially.
It feels more Russian.
I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, you got a lot of cheaper stuff going on here.
I mean, individually they're not that great, but again, like you said, we've always talked about you rifle spam like crazy, and it doesn't matter if you have horrible rifles, you're firing 5 squads at one. Yeah,
especially when you get 8 rifles per card in C phase. That's really good. And rifles is such a nice card. Even though they're not great at long range firefights against grenadiers or panzergrens, CQC they got. I mean, they also got relays. The bar shoots at CQC too, so they got a bloody 9 HE damage at 100 meters, which is not even. Yeah, is it 9? 11 HE damage at bloody 100 meters, which is pretty good for a 20-point squad.
That seems about right. All right. How about we take a look over at the other side of the pulpit of the aisle, I guess. Yeah. So funny. First things first. We're going to take a look at the first SS Panzer Division, the Liebstadter SS Adolf Hitler. Now, what's so funny about this, Goring?
Well, next week, Eugene's going to actually add the first SS Panzer Division officially. So it's nice that the mod, decided to, do this. Because they created this division before Eugene announced that they're going to officially add the first SS Panzer Division. So it will be interesting to see in a week's time just how both of these divisions compare, thematically and gameplay-wise. See whether they have the same units or same playstyle.
Let's not spend too much time in this then. I don't want to go and short shrift it, but at the same time, recon units, of course, your standard Aufklärers, you have a Pumas. I mean, we're not talking about anybody who's looking to have Fusiliers more or less. We have a couple Abwehrs. That's about it.
Yeah, it got some SS Panzer Abwehr, you see them at the bottom, Panzerschreck and Panzer Faust.
And in Phase A too, for that matter.
And in Phase A, I don't see where you'd need a Panzer Faust in A phase. If you already have a Panzerschreck, but double more DACA.
No, you have the Panzer Faust in case you run out with the stuff for the Panzerschreck.
Fair point.
But let's just quickly move over to infantry then.
SS Grenadiers are new. These aren't really good for a 40-point squad.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, they have 2 SMGs and semi-automatic rifles, but the MG like 34, 42 is such like a better investment at the end of the day, and it's considering he's like 5 points more expensive than a Panzer Grenadier. I'd just much rather have Panzer Grenadiers. I think
But
he's to be a bit cheaper, but
you're buying the veterancy. That's what you're doing.
you're buying
here.
the veterancy. Fair point, yeah. But apart from that, you got like SS Stormtroopers, nothing new, and then regular Panzer Grenadiers and C phase. But he's noticed in A phase, no half tracks.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
you know, it's a bloody Panzer Division. You know, usually have half tracks, but no half tracks.
I guess at this point in time though too,
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense.
it's flavor. It's flavor. You mainly don't get half tracks for most of the infantry, which is
Okay.
nice. It's different.
Tanks then?
Yeah, there's one big thing in A phase.
Yeah, very very big thing.
Yeah, I remember
Mhm.
there being a lot of like discussion whether this thing was overpowered or not in A phase, but honestly, it's not, because you're spending 250 points. If you'd buy at start on the match, that's half of your income on one tank. And even though a Panther is, you know, especially in A phase, is scary, it's only going to be able to cover so much ground, and you could just kind of ignore it, just kind of go around it, because the rest of the flank's going to be rather unexposed. And even then, you could just stun up the Panther with artillery or whatnot. It's not like something that you can't contain. I don't really see the Panther being a good A phase unit in general, especially with no veterancy.
Well, I kind of feel like what this is going to be is you see a lot of people put this in the center to kind of deploy either way as they see fit, because they'll think exactly the same thing you're saying right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's only one tank and it's so expensive. What am I going to be doing? They're not going to stick it over on one flank by itself.
Yeah, it should only really work in like more open maps early on, just like cover a huge area. But even then, it's just going to be like a King Tiger. It's just going to be A phase priority target.
Exactly. A big Carpiquet Duelist, for example, is the only map I can really see something like this working
Exactly. I'm just going to run across the open field, talent. They don't have 17 pounders this early on.
And then you get nuked by, oh my gosh, not the M10s when I think of the Hellcats.
The Hellcats. don't bring us up against full armored. You'd get buggered, and both Hellcats are cheaper.
But as you go further and further, obviously P4 is all over Phase B, and then C is just Panthers galore.
Yeah, it's got some 2-star Panther Ds, but all the other Panthers are pretty low in veterancy, which
they're stupidly expensive.
It's just stupidly expensive.
Oh.
It's not really great. I'd kind of risk maybe like the Panther Gs of like 1-star veterancy to buff them up a bit, but I mean you get 3 per card too, which is really good because Panther Gs are the top tier Panthers.
Support.
Standard.
251s, 232s, Flammenwerfers, Opel Blitzes, nothing surprising.
The 251-9 is the like the command infantry transport thing. So once again, a transport vehicle that you can get in the support tab. I like this a lot because this is a really good unit considering, and you never really get it because you have to get a command leader dude within a Panzer Division. You don't really have that many infantry slots, so you don't see it all too often. So it gives it a good use, I'd say.
Don't we see this occasionally with some of the lighter, more half-tracky divisions?
Yeah, you sometimes see it, but it's such like an oddity. Usually, most of the time, like personally, when I build a Panzer Division, I always just take like the cheaper Panzer leader, just in a regular half-track. It's usually get 3 per card, where if you usually get one of these guys in with a Panzer leader, you only get 2 per card.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Anti-tank.
Only 1 Pack 38 in A phase. That's 2-star veterancy, but but like honestly, it's this division in A phase is so like screwed because your only AT is you got SS Grenadiers, you got the bloody SS Panzer Division, where it's like okayish, 1 Panther and 1 Pack 38. If you just kill either the Panther or the Pack 38, you can just kind of run circles early on against first SS if you know how to maneuver around the map.
Well, and that's I think what the entire point of the first SS is that they have a huge kind of initial presence in this whole recon section.
Yeah.
You get past that though, and you realize it's kind of a paper tiger.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You got Pumas in A phase. I forgot to mention that too. But still, it's it's a tough division to play in A phase, I'd say. It would be pretty good in 2v2 with this sort of like anti-tank loadout.
Yes.
Once, you know, that A phase Panther with like friendly fire support could do some work, but it's just, I don't know, if someone knows how to just like suppress you and maneuver around you with half tracks, you'll just GG early on with first SS.
Standouts looking at the rest of this though, Stoke G's better the Fehler Stoke later on.
So once again,
Hmm.
tank in the anti-tank tab. It makes sense. I mean, Stark was pretty much at its
Assault gun.
point.
Please, please, assault gun.
Assault. It identified as an assault gun when it had the Sort 75, but at its point, it's an anti-tank.
That's kind of interesting. And before we go, as maybe as we go over to anti-air, I'll tell this quick story.
Hmm.
Originally, when the show came into play, they didn't have no idea where to put it. The infantry were
Oh
like, "Dude,
yeah.
we don't want it," and the tanks were like, "We don't have the budget for it." So they created specific storm artillery divisions and gave it to the artillery.
Yeah, because they're just like, I remember hearing stories of like infantry commanders in the German army. They'd like use the Stugs early on when it only had the Sort 75, and they'd think, oh, it's a tank. We'll just use it for tank purposes. And they'd throw it up against like Soviet tanks, like
I get
T-34s,
murdered.
and it'd get murdered and be like, what the hell? Why is our tank not working? The gun doesn't work, even though it's not meant to shoot at armored targets. The early model, it's just meant to plop at range with Sort 75 with HE.
And bunkers.
And bunkers. It was meant to be like a bunker buster, but when your commander tanks a tank in the end of the day, you just gotta take out next hill.
So anti-air, kind of the standard stuff you would see here. I do like seeing actually that. What's that? My gosh, the 20 mils in the back of the half tracks.
Yeah.
We see them before, but I still like them. They're
Yeah.
super cheap. Not a lot of them early on, obviously.
But 2-star.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. Is that at least it's a solid early on investment. If you
Yeah.
have to have a press button in case of panic.
You can make these guys work pretty well because if you actually put these guys on hold fire and wait for the plane to get like right above you and then open fire, especially with 2-star infantry, you can do not enough to like completely kill a plane, but enough to do good amount of suppression damage when considering single 20 mil AA guns are pretty pants most of the time.
True.
You just gotta hold your load in before just blowing it all, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna let that one alone for now. One thing I guess I don't like too much, real quick, about to transition to artillery is the flak 88 only getting one per card.
Yeah, in B phase.
That's an awful. Oh, no, even in C.
Oh yeah,
That's an awful big investment slot wise for one single weapon that's gonna get counter barrage in like 3 seconds.
yeah. There's other like Panzer divisions that do the same thing. It makes sense because Panzer division are not meant to like be spamming these. Like if I was getting flak 88s in this division, I wouldn't be using them as frontline. I'd be keeping them back on purpose to keep these guys clear.
Fair. Stovepipes, Vesps, late game Panzerwaffe. The LEFH 18Ms. This isn't the Russian.
No, actually, like really
It's
old
the
German artillery.
yeah.
Well,
This is the World War
it's slightly
One.
modernized, but yeah, it's. I mean, it makes sense. This was an extremely like standard piece of equipment, even though it wasn't actually in the game when it first came out. But yeah, it's just a regular mediocre artillery piece. Panzerwaffes in C phase is interesting as they used to like an A and B phase unit. These guys be really good, I'd say.
I understand why that happens though, at the same time too. If you think about it, you throw out the you get the P4s or the Panthers up late game, and you think that last breakthrough, I need to get just a couple hundred more points.
Yeah.
Panzerwaffe, move up behind it.
Yeah, Panzerwaffes, like with Naberwaffes, so for every single problem that you can come against is like a German tank division. And even C phase, like you got Hummels and Rasp. It's a really good C phase artillery loadout.
Yes, it is. If you don't know the words, you just hummel along.
Exactly, or just blow them up from 2.8 kilometers away.
Hey, you know what? Tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
Airplanes. I do have to laugh at the airplane thing for the Ju-87.
Yeah,
It's that flame in the back. He's probably been hit.
yeah, you're gonna need it, so you're 87 and A phase, considering
Yes, you
you're
are.
plus 80. I mean, I was going on about how, like, I still say it's really hard early on in A phase to deal with enemy tanks and whatnot because of the lack of AT. But it's just, you're gonna have to make, like, easily, the Unicorn Pack 38, Ju-87, and Panther A work for you. And if you lose these units, even losing one of them can really, like, screw you up.
Yeah. Well, and the air power for this as well is very, very slim, too.
Yeah, just got
3
some,
slots.
Yeah, very slim. I mean, you're gonna after that Ju-87, I'd pretty much just recommend you take Focke-Wulf fighters because that's what you need. Yeah, even that A-phase Focke-Wulf fighter I'd say is pretty worth it as you want to keep that Ju-87 alive.
Look at a lot of early investment, and I guess the fighter bombers in Phase B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all right. Overall, it's a pretty alright division. still think I need some tweaks here and there. So, like SS Grenadiers should be like 30 points, I'd say. But overall, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But at the same time, this is going to be a little bit anachronistic because this is going to be officially added by Eugene in probably a different way in a week.
Well, and I think you and I are going to probably talking through that when it comes out as well, too.
Yep,
so.
yeah, probably do something about that, yeah.
All right, so final division then, yes?
Yep, so 85th Infantry Division.
Yes, sir. So 85th.
Yep.
So what is so unique about the 85th?
So you got a lot of infantry, and honestly, this is actually a good infantry division at the German scale. Because I think 716th and 352nd are pretty pants in general. But you got a pretty nice income curve, 80 in A, 130 in B, and then down to 120 in C. So a very, very good income curve all around. And we're going to see something cool about it a little bit later on. But
well, I do love the name of this decorated officer too. Kurt Chill. Did not realize that when I first looked at this division.
He's pretty chill, and I like how they actually bothered to do the unit, the commander bios for everyone.
Well, commander bios, the division bio, again. I mean, this is a great I keep saying it, DLC, a great mod.
Yeah, it's essentially a free OC at this point. It's really well done considering, like, once again, they can only do like so much with the limited mod tools that you get for Steel Division.
So recon real quick. So we're getting past a little bit quicker, I guess, on this one. Überfahrt Commandos, reskins, still pretty darn good. Yeah, exactly. 35 points, AT, anti-infantry.
I mean, they're pretty much like a budget. Oh, I'd say a Spar Troop 2.0 because you got the Panzerfaust and an extra SMG. Don't have Gewehren, but you got more guys too. So it's a really good unit. It could hold its own against Allied infantry early on. Like
I'm thinking Fusiliers practically.
Yeah, they're pretty much like a slightly worse Fusiliers. But the Panzerfaust is like an upgrade. That's a really good thing, having a Panzerfaust on a recon unit. You could sneak these guys up and get some good kills.
Well, and other than that, they only have motorbikes. So, Hans McQueen and his buddy Stu.
Yeah, but I really like Uberfield Commandos. I think they're a fun recon unit to use, and they're not like overpowered. They're perfect at their price.
Infantry wise.
Yep, it's a German infantry division, so it's Grenadiers. You got some Pioneers. You don't get too many which is a bit of a downfall because Pioneers are such a vital unit, I'd say. But you got the Grenadiers, machine guns, and pretty much everything you need, and a good amount of veterancy spread all around.
Worth noting, though, you don't get early anti-tank on those Grenadiers. So you're depending on your recon, your tanks, the anti-tanks early on. You're not going to get those Fausts on the Grenadiers until B. Yeah,
and those 2-star Grenadier cards are definitely worth it. Especially, not even just for the Panzerfaust, but the veterancy on those guys make them absolutely deadly. But overall, for the infantry, I can see myself just kind of taking, just everything. Because you can take everything, you got all the infantry slots to work with.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Yes! This is such a meme. I love you so much. Okay, so the reason they have a bunch of Tiger tanks is because they were given, like, some point during the Battle of Flay's Pocket or whatever, a heavy Panzer Battalion, SS Panzer Battalion, to reinforce them. So, their tank tab is literally just the Berlin Zoo. Just tigers. Tigers. And, it's not super useful, to be entirely honest, because it's like 240 points per tank. You can get like one every 2 minutes, which is pretty decent. You'd only get like just a Panzer IV or something to throw in. So, I don't know, it just works. It's just, it's pretty hard when you only have heavy tanks,
Well, the entire point of this division is not to play for the tanks. You're playing with the infantry.
Yeah, and same time, like, having a Tiger's nice, because that's like, a proper heavy tank to have. If you need to deal with, like, Shermans or whatnot, you just rip out the Tiger. It's not something. What I'm trying to say is you have to use them kind of like historically, where Panda battalions you don't like try to, spread over the whole front line. Ideally, even though they did end up doing that, you want to use them in small points and limited numbers to help with a breakthrough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's just such a meme having just a a tabber of tigers. Some like like someone who relates to German army is gonna see us and just freak out because it's his favorite tank and only his favorite tank available.
You know me so well.
No Reitman, so they're probably gonna have a better survival chance.
Exactly, that curve is amazing.
Yeah. It's like an extra 20% survival chance compared to Reitman.
Actually, you know what I really like here?
Mm-hmm.
I like the support tab. This is actually really kind of cool.
Yeah, it's his. I really like his Pioneer use.
Yes. I mean, you're not getting big booms, but at the same time, you're getting a supply truck and you're getting infantry. They hold the line.
Infantry is a supply.
Oh my god, you're absolutely right. Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. My question is whether you guys can be captured. I haven't tested it, but I believe...
wow.
I guess they can't be captured. I mean, it'd be a really funny bug if they were, but it's an interesting choice because you don't get supply trucks or sea phase, so you're having to rely on
little dudes running around with basically like carrying wrenches.
Exactly, and you only get like quarter of supply, and you do get a supply truck per dude, but it's pretty good, I'd say. It's you can like spread them around as little supply depots to, resupply infantry.
Actually, I also like this addition of the IG-33 here too. This is upgun IG-18. In fact, what, like 3 or 4 times the caliber?
Yeah, you never really see them be played at all because they're just kind of crap. The IG-18's like almost half the price, and even though it has lost a lot less boom, it's just more useful, I'd say. But maybe you could make it work in 8 phase. I do like the IG-33 because it's essentially it's a broom bar but without the broom bar. It's just a boom part of the broom bar.
Well, the AoE's splendiferous. So.
But yeah, it's cool. I really like the supply infantry. That's a new like mechanical take that we haven't seen all too often.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool.
Sense.
Yeah, it definitely does, especially with this division. They don't have tanks, man. They just have guys running around with wrenches.
I really like the B-phase one where it has the half tracks, as you could just like ferry them along back and forth, jumping in and out of half track to try to, resupply the next area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Anti-tank, not too much to write home about. Shreks, basically. Yep. We have a couple of Pak-43 here, of course, and the Pak-40s in Phase B.
Yeah.
But not like stellar, just, kind of the standard anti-tank.
There's no Pak-38, which is pretty interesting. Which is honestly pretty good, because Pak-40s are lovely. And getting, like, 3 Pak-40s in A-Phase that's good. Pak-40s are great. So it's a solid anti-tank tab, and you got, Panzer Shreks for days. It's the bare minimum, but it's all you need for an infantry division. No Yak Panthers, but, Pak-43s and Pak-40s get a job done nicely.
How about anti-air then? What do you got for anti-air?
Pretty standard stuff. You got a limited amount of Flak 88s, but it's mainly just going to be using the Flak 36, 37 mils to get the job done. And they're reliable. They do get the job done. You don't really need much else.
Seems about right. RD?
Mm-hmm. So you got the one SK-18 in A-Phase, which I don't really see being all too useful.
Who cares about being useful, man? That's a 4,000 meter range. I have 4 kilometers. I can get on the edge of the map and still hit the other side of the map.
It'd probably be pretty good for like counter battery and sextons early on. If you find against like Guards Armoured, you could bring an A-Phase sexton. But yeah, it's one big gun. Also, a few patches ago, remember how this thing used to be like stupidly big?
Yes.
Yeah, as you notice, it's not as stupidly big anymore.
Well, it makes a slight bit more sense.
Yeah, because beforehand it should have been like a 300mm artillery gun.
And now for that, we just look at the Phase B off-map.
Yep. I can't say no to Phase B railway artillery. That's pretty good.
Big Bertha indeed.
Yeah, but it's pretty good artillery all around. You got the SK-18s for your counter battering, Big Bertha for big booms, and then a healthy amount of LEF 18Ms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the stovepipes has a little bit more cheap alternatives.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just nothing too fancy, but it's all you need.
So air power at the end here then. Finish this out. What do we got?
Nothing too crazy. You got the Messerschmitt 109 Go. Funny thing is, this is actually the only one with veterancy. Like, usually all the other divisions don't get any 109 Goes with veterancy. It's still pretty crap planes, but with the veterancy, they could actually be pretty decent, even though their firepower output is pathetic. But you got, more Messerschmitt G60s, some rocket Messerschmitts, which you can never go wrong with, and, one card of Heavy Bomber JU-80H, and some C-Phase 2-star Messerschmitts.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I really like, out of all divisions, this is probably my favourite division added, as it's an actual, I'd say this is actually a good 1v1 Axis Infantry division, where 352nd and 716th aren't that great. They have kind of flaws, and this is just very standard. It's just no real gimmicks apart from
The tanks, yeah.
the Tiger tanks, which kind of makes sense. There's not really much gimmicks. This is as basic, but as all you need for a German infantry division.
Well, again, if you're looking at it, I mean, this is the second for the German side.
Yeah, I'd kind of, yeah.
It's not a perfect analogy there, but at the same time, you have hordes of infantry.
Mm-hmm.
You have decent pretty much everything else. I mean, the second's not a pushover division. That's one of the more played divisions, I would say, for the Allies.
Yeah, it's a very good division, but it's really solid. It's one division I like playing a lot in this mod.
So, that about does it, I think, for our whole little overview, I would think, of these four divisions.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything.
So again, oh my gosh, I mean, when I heard about this, Chief Bardo said something to us over on the Discord, and I was skeptical. I won't lie, I'm always kind of skeptical of mods, but holy crap, he did a fantastic job. So again, well done. My hat's off to you, sir.
Yeah, and I really hope maybe sometime in the future Eugene adds tools so we could actually add our own custom units in, actually remodel units, because you could get so many more possibilities if you could actually add new vehicles in. But hopefully that's something that they'll do in the future.
I would definitely hope so as well.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts there, Rang, other than that?
No, I'm pretty much good, mate.
That sounds good. Folks, okay, join us next week. We're going to be bringing some of the 6 Divisions tournament coming to you. And we have some great stuff coming for you later this week as well. But for right now, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rang Rude. Take it easy.